In the last video, we looked at how to set up a basic landing page. In this video, we're going to explore how to develop more complicated flows and do a few more things. If you're interested in the landing page video, you can find it over on our YouTube channel. Okay, so let's dive in. As you'll remember, we have a very basic landing page set up. So we have just an image, some rich text, first name and email, and then we're adding people to a form on our ConvertKit service once they fill out the form. So the way that flows work is you can add more than one step. So we'll just click to add another step, and you'll see we have step 2 show up. Now, by default, unless you redirect somewhere else, once you complete a step, you continue on to the next step. So let's go ahead and build out a couple more steps here so we can try this out and show you how this works. So let's add an element, and I'm going to add a yes/no. So we're looking at a person who's looking at a landing page for a house. So I'm not a real estate agent, but I'm just going to imagine what a flow might look like for a real estate agent who's trying to collect information about somebody. So we've got their name and email. They've been added to our email list. That's great. What we might want to do next is say, are you pre-approved for a mortgage? And the variable name becomes important here, so I'm just going to call this pre-approved. And you can call this whatever you want. We'll go into more detail about creating variables later, but for now, we'll just set it like that. So at this point, we want to think about what do we want to do if this person says yes versus if this person says no. So if they say no, we might want to send them somewhere else. Maybe we have a referral partner or whatever who does pre-approved stuff for mortgages. Who knows? It could be anywhere. For now, I set up another flow, which only has one step and won't go into it too much, but it's just something that looks like the start of another flow where we're trying to offer them something else. So this is our flow that we're in, and then there's another flow which is asking if they want to get pre-approved for a mortgage. I'm just going to copy this link for now. So we'll copy that. And then down here in the actions, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to add a new action, and we're going to redirect to another URL. Next, and then I'm just going to paste my other flow. Again, this could be literally any URL you want to send them to. It doesn't have to be something on Leadjetty. It could be somewhere else. It could be anything. And now what we're going to do is choose, so this would normally be a drop down of variables, and we're going to clean up this design a little bit to make this more obvious what's going on. But if you had multiple variables, you would have a drop down, but since we only have the one, it's just going to offer us that. Then we can say, we want to say pre-approved is equal to no. And what this is going to do is it's going to show us down here in the bottom, if pre-approved is equal to no, redirect to this URL. Okay, so let's go ahead and try that. So I'm going to open up this URL in an incognito window so that it hasn't got my session memorized. And I'm going to go ahead and just put in a fake name. So faker, and I'll just say faker@leadjetty.com. And so now it's going to ask me, are you pre-approved for a mortgage? So now we're going into the flow here. So I'm going to say no, and it's going to say, would you like to get pre-approved? So now, seamlessly, I've transitioned into a different flow inside of Leadjetty. Again, you could have redirected them to somebody else's website or whatever. So that was the first basic way you can go through the flow. And again, you can stack up actions here if you wanted to add people to other systems or whatever. You can add as many actions as you want underneath in one step. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and just add another step and wrap up with this video. So in this step, so now we know if you've gotten to step 3, that means you selected yes. So clicking no is going to redirect you out. So by default, if you get to step 3, you said yes. So in here, we might want to ask, you know, any other kind of question. So we could add a number, for example, and say, you know, what is your estimated budget? And then here we could say, let's just call this budget. Okay, So now we have this, what is your estimated budget field? And I'm going to add an action down here that's going to say something like, let's say if it's over $1 million is their estimated budget, I want to go ahead and create a deal in my HubSpot pipeline. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click create a deal, and I'll go next. And now it's going to ask me for two things. So if I had multiple pipelines, which I don't because I'm just using the basic HubSpot while we're testing, if I had multiple pipelines, I could pick which pipeline. So maybe you have different salespeople and they have different pipelines, or you have different pipelines for different price points or whatever. You get the idea. So you pick your pipeline, and then you click in and you can see which deal stage you want to put it in. So I'm just going to say requested appointment, which is a custom deal stage that I set up at the beginning of the pipeline. Okay, so now again we only have the one variable in this step, so it's all that's going to show up. And then we can have is greater than or equal to. Let's go ahead and say is greater than or equal to, and we'll do 1 million. Okay, and we'll finish. And now we should have that showing up here. So if budget is greater than or equal to $1 million, add to HubSpot deals. And it's saying where it's in the sales pipeline and we've requested appointment. Okay, cool. Okay, so one last thing I want to do here is just add one more step, and we'll scroll over and we'll say add an element. Let's just make it a rich text actually. And we'll just say, thanks for completing the flow, which we would never, ever, ever put as a message anywhere because that's terrible, but I just want to make sure there's a placeholder there before I forget. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. So I'm going to copy my link again here and open a new incognito window, same old story. Okay, so now let's fill this out with a little bit more info. So let's say Jack, and then Jack at Leadjetty.com. Okay, we're going to click see this house. Are you pre-approved for a mortgage? Yes, I am pre-approved for a mortgage. And we can see right here, I didn't choose a button color for this step. So let me actually fix that really fast. So right here, just going to make this like a blue or something. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to go back, refresh, and I think I don't have text either. Nice. So we'll just say next. We'll make that a default so it looks nice without anything being added in there. So what's your estimated budget? And let's say 1.2 million. Okay, next. And now it's going to say thanks for completing the flow. And again, blank button, so we didn't fill anything out there. So we got to work on like an end screen. You know, we didn't really put any effort toward that, but we got through the flow. And let's go check out our HubSpot. Okay, so let me go to my account, sales, deals, and here we go. We got a deal with Jack. And if we open up this, we can see here that, where is my contact that's associated? So Leadjetty actually went ahead and created the contact in HubSpot as well because it didn't exist yet. So that's basically it for this video. I hope you get the sense of what you can do here. Again, you can add other actions in here, so you could say if the budget is less than $1 million, do something else. So you can build up some pretty complicated flows. One of the things that's not here yet that will be before we go live is you'll be able to add multiple conditions. So you can imagine if you had multiple elements in the same step, then you would have those variables available. So if the budget is this and this other thing is that, then do something. It's not necessary to get that complicated most of the time in our experience, but you know, we're going to make it a possibility. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly at Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, at cst.work. That's my email. And yeah, I appreciate you watching, and I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks.